I realized that I was gay at the age of 15. I've been coming out all my life.
Probably in high school as a teenager I first started suspecting, but it wasn't until in my early 20s when I first had a gay experience or went to a gay bar, and that was really, I think that's the first time that I started to think that maybe I might be gay.
I didn't have a bad coming out experience. I think it was primarily just grandma that made things difficult, but I just avoided her anyway.
Our family's pretty supportive. Mine was by accident, and we were just on
I accidentally outed her. Accidentally on purpose.
She did an accident. It made it easier for me. I didn't have to say anything.
My dad, I don't know. I don't know if he knows. I would think that my mother has told him, but maybe not.
Was je 25 jaar geleden homo, dan mocht je niet in het Amerikaanse leger. President Bill Clinton wilde dit veranderen, maar er waren ook veel tegenstanders. Er kwam een tussenoplossing, het Don't Ask, Don't Tell beleid. Iedereen mocht voortaan in het leger, ongeacht geaardheid. Vragen naar geaardheid mocht niet meer, maar zelf vertellen of laten merken dat je homo was, mocht ook niet. Deed je dat toch, dan werd je ontslagen. Sinds Don't Ask, Don't Tell is ingevoerd, zijn er toch nog ruim 13.000 homoseksuele soldaten ontslagen.
Why can't I talk really openly? Because there's people passing by and I don't really want them to hear my personal business really. In fact, there's one behind us right now. I'm gonna put down the camera.
Danny was voor 1993 in dienst. Het Don't Ask, Don't Tell beleid bestond toen nog niet. Daarom was het voor hem eigenlijk verboden om in het leger te gaan.
For the last 10 years, people are serving openly with their peers. They tell them they don't care. Back then, I could have been killed, and many were. Literally murdered and thrown overboard. Or dishonorably discharged, dishonorably. So, no, I didn't tell anybody.
We had an equal opportunity briefing. He got to the portion where he was talking about don't ask, don't tell, and he said, well, I know that, like me, you probably don't want, you know, someone in the foxhole next to you checking you out, but we've got to accept the fact that, you know, they're allowed in the military. The commander said, okay, everybody just, you know, calm down. I have to ask this. If anybody in this room is gay and was offended by what was just said, go ahead and raise your hand.
Did you do that?
Oh, no.
Shortly after we came back from Iraq and we were back in Germany, my commander called me into his office and he read me the military's policy on homosexuality, and then he handed me a stack of emails which I had written to friends and to someone I was dating, another Air Force officer. And he basically demanded an explanation for the emails, which I refused to tell him. I didn't make a statement, and I asked to speak to a lawyer first. And so I was fired from my job there, where I was leading nearly 200 men and women.
I'm here for my last week in the military. I'm doing my separation paperwork. I was going to leave as soon as I could. I joined mostly because my parents couldn't afford to send me to art school, which is what I wanted to do right after high school.
And back even in those days during Vietnam, when people were being drafted into the military, gay people could not serve and didn't have to serve. All you had to do was say, I'm gay, all right, go away. And then college students also didn't have to serve. So I was doubly exempt as a college student and as gay. But I volunteered. I wanted to serve.
We went in at the same time. We went in with a little bit different, you know, objectives in the beginning, but we had totally different experiences right alongside one another. My commitment was because of service to country and wanting to really just feeling that pride in what I was doing and that sense of accomplishment. And then I think I probably felt obviously the biggest devastation because I was affected by the policy. That she definitely didn't even recognize at all, and the fact that it was so impacting in my life, and that it impacted everything that I was planning to retire. I was going to do 20 years. That was my goal. So to have that cut short and because of this discriminatory policy.
I'm not very open about that. I don't go around flaunting that, I'm gay. I don't wear any of that, and I'm not, I guess, as obvious. But the only reason why everyone else knew is I eventually ended up having a girlfriend when I was stationed, and everyone knew that we were together. Pretty much stayed in her room. So it was actually extremely accepting over there and when we were stationed in Europe. Guys have it really hard because guys do not like other guys to be gay, especially in the military, side by side. They just don't like it. It's just not, I don't think it's accepting at all.
I was an officer for 13 years. My father was in the Air Force as well. He was an officer, and so I grew up in the military and just always knew that I wanted to go in the military in some way or another. And I really enjoyed the teamwork, the mission, the people that I worked with. I really enjoyed everything about it except for obviously don't ask, don't tell, and living under that. It meant that I could never have a significant relationship with someone, or that I had to hide a complete or a huge aspect of who I was, of my life. I had to keep that completely separate from the military, from my career, or risk being thrown out. When I was an officer for the whole 13 years, and I never told anyone. My family didn't know. None of my straight coworkers did. I had a few other gay friends in the military that knew, so we had a small little social network. But aside from that, no one else knew.
Kiam neemt ontslag, maar er gaan maanden overheen voordat dat rond is. Tot die tijd is hij nog steeds bang om vrijuit over zijn homoseksualiteit te praten.
Having to kind of hide, not really speaking out too much about anything. If somebody would make comments, I would not say anything. It's more just the silence of it. Why was I nervous to say, like for instance, to say that I'm gay, like out loud? I don't know. I think it's probably just more psychological because I'm so used to having to hide that part of myself.
Your room has been tapped, your phone's been tapped, and she had transcripts of conversations, copies of letters, everything that she could use against me.
After 10 years, 1978, there were gay rights outside the gates of the military base already beginning, and I decided I had enough. And so I left, but I never told anybody. I left honorably.
I did my 3 years and that was it. I just didn't extend. I was just discharged. I had the school money, so I wanted to use it. And I did. I eventually ended up using it all.
I was discharged through the don't ask, don't tell policy. It was a voluntary discharge because I actually was discharged under homosexual admission, so I admitted to it prior to being investigated. But I did that in lieu of the fact that I was heading toward being investigated.
Er waren veel protestacties tegen Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Actievoerders wilden dat het beleid afgeschaft werd. Ook homo's moesten openlijk in het leger kunnen dienen, zonder bang te zijn voor ontslag. De regering discussieerde veel over het beleid. Dat leidde zelfs tot 4 rechtszaken, maar die zorgden niet voor de afschaffing van Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Toen Barack Obama in 2008 president werd, beloofde hij er alles aan te doen om het beleid af te schaffen.
Last year we had a similar protest to raise awareness on Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and to bring the issue to the media, as well as to get President Obama and the Congress to act a little faster and to get this done. Walk her down the carpet at the MTV Video Music Awards, and so we raised awareness of the issue, and she spoke about the need to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
I'm here for a very, very important cause today. These are all my friends, and they are with SLDN.org, which is an organization that was founded in 1993 under a reaction to Don't Ask, Don't Tell policies.
I have been an activist all my life. I've been an activist for 50 years. At the age of 13, in 1960, I had my first march for black civil rights with the NAACP. Since then, I've been fighting for black rights and women's rights and gay rights and transgender rights, and now for the last 7 years for the rights of gay and lesbian, bisexual, and transgender military veterans, and to end Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So this is, it's part of who I am.
And what I always had hoped for by telling my story was that others would see that there was a lot of good to the military, and you could do it as a homosexual, and you could be successful, and you could be everything that any other soldier could be. And this policy is what holds people back. This policy is what allows for open discrimination.
Ook Kian merkte bij de marine dat er gediscrimineerd wordt.
They were voicing their opinions, saying things like, if people are allowed to be gay in the military, then someone's going to harass me, or someone's going to want to look at me in the shower. It's like a lot of paranoid things like that. And until you make somebody see how stupid that is to even think about, to think that, okay, just because you're male and I'm gay, I'm gonna be instantly attracted to you. It's really not the case.
Voor president Obama was het moeilijk om een meerderheid in het congres te halen. Veel republikeinen wilden Don't Ask, Don't Tell in stand houden. Vlak voor kerst in 2010 ondertekende Obama uiteindelijk toch de afschaffing van het beleid. Maar homo's zijn nog steeds bang om voor hun geaardheid uit te komen, omdat er nog geen nieuwe wet is die Don't Ask, Don't Tell vervangt. Aan die nieuwe wet wordt nu gewerkt.
The only thing changing is that we're going to be more inclusive, and if people are gay, they can join. If people have already joined and they're gay, they can say that they're gay, and no one's going to come after them. What do I want to become in the future? I want to be an art therapist.
Right now I'm the director of admissions for a private college. Actually, it's not that much different because it's still recruiting. So I was recruiting with the Army, and now I'm recruiting for college.
So there we are. One. In America, you can become anything you want, no matter who you are. All you have to do is work hard. This is the message of President Barack Obama. I'm hoping to see that happen for gay people.
Now I still work for the Defense Department as a contractor now instead of actually being in the military. I do similar type work, working in information technology, similar to what I did when I was in the military. I hope to, once Don't Ask, Don't Tell is finally finished, which should be in a few more months, then I hope to get back in. I'll do a few more years as an officer and then hopefully retire. And then after then, I'm not sure yet. Hard to say.